Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Shane Dryer, and we are back with another video. So today's video is going to be about the time that me and my family took a cruise to Jamaica and the edibles and weed that we ate on the cruise. It was pretty fucking lit. So before I get into the juicy stuff, I'm going to talk more about the vacation. So we started in Florida, we started in New York, and we flew down to Florida, and we boarded the cruise ship, cruised to Jamaica, stayed in Jamaica for like 3 days, and then cruised over to the Cayman Islands, and then cruised all the way back to the Florida coast and flew back to New York. It was about a 10-day experience. It was awesome. In Jamaica, there was a ton of stuff we did. We went to a place called the Blue Hole. It was like baby blue water, and it was mineral water, and it smelled so good. It was amazing. And they had 50-foot cliffs that you could jump off of. There was a dude, they called him Lizard. He could shuffle up trees. I forgot the name of the town that we went to after that. It started with an O. I'll try and find it and put it in the description, but if I can't find it, I'm sorry. But this place was amazing. And because they have termites, the architecture was all concrete. And the architecture was like Indian style. It was just a mixture of vibes. It was crazy. What's also crazy is most of the vehicles were 1970s Volkswagen vans. It was just crazy, and they drove on the right side of the road too. But most of the food was spicy. It was really crazy in Jamaica, but it was a vibe at the same time. Like everybody was smoking weed, and they had Bob Marley playing all over the place. It was just amazing. Then we got back on the cruise ship. The cruise ship was a vibe too, because at night, you could walk around the deck, and almost no one was out at night because everybody was sleeping. You could walk around the deck at night. My aunt had purchased bottomless bubbles and endless food too. So they gave you a card. You could go up to the soda machine and insert the card and fill endless soda. Like you could just drink and drink and drink. It was amazing. And same with the food. They had a burger place, a taco place, and a pizza place. And all through the night, too. It didn't close at all. So you could get pizza anytime you wanted. And that plays in later because that was an amazing thing when I was stoned. I was getting food. It was just amazing. When we went to the Cayman Islands, we actually got to swim at the stingrays. And I remember because we left the coast and the water was murky and deep. And I was like, ugh, we're going to actually swim in this? But then it got to a point where the water started getting shallow again. And at one point, it was 2 feet deep and crystal clear. And they made us jump off the boat. And they didn't make us, but they let us. And there was the stingrays, and they would come up to you, and you could touch them. It was just a vibe. It was amazing, truly amazing, great vacation. And there was many ways that could have gone wrong, but it didn't. It went well. I was genuinely happy with my experience on that cruise. It was Carnival Cruise Lines. And everything was just amazing. Even on the inside, they had a movie theater, a basketball court, a casino. The elevators were glass, and you could watch yourself go up. It was just wild. The back of the cruise ship had windows. You could look at the back. The dining hall was huge. Just. I know I've said crazy and amazing a million times, but it really was. The only bad thing that happened was after the cruise, my uncle got stomach cancer, and he died 6 months after that. But yeah, let's not talk about that. It's negative. But anyways, let's get into the real juicy stuff. So when we boarded the cruise ship in the Cayman Islands to head all the way back to the Florida coast, it was a 4-day cruise back, and my cousin went down to the bar. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but it was me, my 2 cousins, and my aunt and uncle. Obviously, my 2 cousins, Indigo and Orion. Yes, they have weird names. It's unique names, so to speak. It's Indigo like the color, and Orion like the constellation. They had honestly pretty lit names. But anyways, we actually, before I continue even further, we had it wasn't starboard or port side rooms. They were more in the middle of the ship. So if you had the lights off, it was pitch black. And I remember to this day I still haven't slept that long, but I actually slept for 36 hours straight. And no one woke me up because we were on vacation. And of course, my aunt, well, not of course, but it was actually kind of lit that my aunt did this, but she purchased a room for her and my uncle, and then me and my cousin, so it was the kids, and the adults could have their own separate rooms. And that's actually how we got away with all the stuff that we did. But my cousin went to the bar, and he sat down, and this dude next to him says, "Hey, reach out your hand." And he reaches his hand out. And I shit you not, my cousin don't lie about nothing. This guy put a blueberry muffin edible and a bag of Jamaican weed in this guy's hand. Or not in this guy's hand, in my cousin's hand. Unbelievable, right? And he comes back to the room, he's like, "Yo, I scored." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, he reached his hand out, and I was like, "Oh my God, yo." So the first thing we did immediately was took a knife and cut it almost like the shape of a peace sign, because there's 3 of us kids, and we all ate our own 1/3. And then we went to smoke the weed. We smoked the weed in 3 different places on this cruise ship. The first place was actually under a ping pong table. And this particular ping pong table had pieces of plastic nailed to the side. So there's a little space you could crawl under. So we literally hotboxed the underneath of a ping pong table. And there was many times that people had walked by and we had almost gotten caught. And let me tell you, when you get caught with weed on a cruise ship, you are fucked. And your vacation's over. So we're lucky we didn't fuck it up. The second time we went down to the lower deck. It was one of the outside decks, and we went all the way to the end where nobody was standing, and we smoked out there. And I remember one time I almost fell off. And before that, I was screaming, "I own this cruise ship." That's how high I was. This was powerful weed. And you'll see why even further into it. Not why, but you'll see is what I mean. I sound stupid. I really sound stupid, but I don't care. But at the same time, I have OCD, so when I say or and, I know I say that too much. I'm sorry, but whatever, move on, forget it. I'm human. I'm not perfect. Whatever. And actually, I like the way I do my stories because it's one take, and I don't write my stories down. I tell them from the heart. I pull it all out of my head instead of writing it down like these YouTubers do. Because let me tell you, I'm a bass player in a band. I said this in a video before. You don't you don't play live with a music sheet in front of you. So that gives you a perspective of what I'm talking about. But anyways, no, somebody messaged me. Let me just get rid of that. But fucking anyways, we smoked down there on the deck, and my cousin laid on the deck. That's how stoned she was. She laid on the deck and wouldn't move for like a half hour. We finally had to pick her up ourselves. So that gives you a perspective on how powerful this weed was. The last time we smoked, my cousin had brought papers because he thought we were going to be smoking in Jamaica itself, but we didn't. But we were able to roll 2 joints, and we went actually to the front of the ship. And it makes sense when you think about it, but at the same time, you wouldn't think about it. But it was windy as fuck on the front of the ship. And we were like smoking this joint, and it would fly out of our hands, and we were like, just basically, we looked pathetic, okay? Just feeling around on the ground for a joint, and we ended up finding it, and we smoked 2 joints, and between the 2 joints, they blew out of our hands probably 5 or 6 times. It was unbelievable. But what was really unbelievable about that one was we smoked underneath the cap where they steer the ship. So we could have gotten caught, but we did get away with it. And that last time when we walked back to the room, we walked down the hall, and it was so funny. The maid looked at me, and she just smiled. She knew I was stoned. And we were all so high that my cousin, because she was on the top bunk, and she literally leaned over and looked me in my eyes and said, "Shane," she said this, "the Alaguchi Hine is coming for you." First of all, nothing was coming for me. Second of all, I don't know what the fucking Alaguchi Hine is, but it wasn't English, so we were fucked up. But it was good weed. It was a good vacation, and honestly, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Peace and love. And first of all, don't ever bring weed on a cruise ship. If you get caught, you're fucked. And don't smoke it on a cruise ship either. Even if you do bring weed, wait till you get to land. Just saying. Alright, peace. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video about my cruise to Jamaica, me smoking Jamaican weed and eating Jamaican edibles. Peace and love.